Oh, well, I've noticed a few comments on YouTube videos
A couple comments.
and episodes suggesting that this is unengineerable, not going to get past.
You're starting to fire me up, TJ. Because they're wrong. In this episode, we're answering all questions related to engineering. Now, not just your classic vehicles, but your modern ones too.
So this build is pretty extreme, and if you were to do this to an N80 Hilux, no, it's not
Straight
legal.
to jail.
But we're about to explain why this is legal in this particular vehicle, and
Also, what you can do if you want to build something similar and what you're building, who to contact, how to do it. Basically, we're answering all your questions because I tell you what, I'll spend any money to keep this car on the road.
he will. Thing one, this one.
Oh, bit of a spicy topic, engineering, and we're joined with Matthew Cook from Sunshine Coast Modification Plates. Hey, Matty.
Hey boys, going well?
You can hold the
Glad to
mic,
be
mate.
here.
Yeah, we'll hand the mic over
you.
to Matty. So, plenty of questions going on lately. One elephant in the room is the mighty truck behind us. That thing's never going to see the road. That's like, you can never engineer that. Well, I've been working with Matt from the start to make sure this car, no matter how much money I have to spend, sees the road.
Bloody oath.
So we are working on that. Obviously, the car isn't finished, so we haven't finished mod plating it as yet. What can you tell us? Do we want to dive into that first?
So yeah, briefly, there's things, just with modification engineering, there's things you can do, there's things you can't do. And there's heaps of falsehoods and you'll hear lots of crap, but there's times when you just cannot do stuff. Doesn't matter how much money you throw at it. Your mate said he can get this done, or, oh mate, we'll put a plate on it, doesn't mean it's right. But yeah, there's certain parameters regardless of what the car is, and it's got to relate to ADRs and all that sort of boring crap. But if you do what you've done here at the very start, talk to somebody, give them the plan, then we do the whole design approval, or we know exactly what the plan is.
Yeah.
We can go, yeah, you can do this. No, you can't.
Yep,
So-
and that's where a lot of you guys would have seen in earlier episodes where we 3D scanned the chassis,
Yeah.
we FEA tested every CAD design part on the car,
Yep.
which is all your stress analysis stuff.
Yeah,
And obviously all of that comes into account when it comes to engineering.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not obviously not everyone can do that, and the trouble is a lot of people will go and get a car. And I had a guy with an old LN106, would have loved to help him, but what he had done and what was possible and the cost involved to actually do it was not feasible.
Outweighed the cost of the car.
Yeah, no, and it does.
I know all about
it does all the time, and that's what
Who knows about LNs?
this gig is never about what a car's worth, but it's about how much you want to actually spend if you're trying to get this thing on the road. And I had a call from a guy yesterday, and it was a really cool thing that he'd done with this old Bandera, but there's no way known. He changed the suspension, the chassis, all this other stuff. It was cool as shit. It was registered elsewhere. He was trying to bring it here. There's no way known that I could have got it done. I happily give him the advice and tell him what he should do, what he can do, but even to the point where what he needed to do was a lane change test, and those things just don't. They're a shorty, and you can
They don't pass
put all the
from
cool
factory
stuff on them,
properly.
and no, they would honestly, they'd almost flip from factory sort of stuff. So you can't do it. Like I had an old ex-army Land Rover Parenti, and like it was mad bit of kit, just soft top, walk along with the hand throttle up hills in low range is great, but we looked at doing different shit to that, and you just couldn't, because I had vision of when they first came out and they rolled doing and they were ADR exempt because of the arm.
Oh, right.
But they still tested them, and then they literally had blokes like roll over and have accidents when they first changed from the old series, but they're just so unstable because the centre of gravity's way out of whack. They replaced a rear sway bar to put the thing in. They look cool, they go
There's a bit of
great,
history
but
for you guys.
you're never gonna pass the swerve test, and that's the trouble. People will come to me and say, mate, I can do this, and we can do it, a design approval, and it gets expensive, but once you put that through that lane change test, it's...
Have you ever seen one on its roof?
Yeah. not that I was involved in, but yeah, no, it is. And I've seen a couple in, like even down south, where they were like an 80 series and stuff, and should have done it, wasn't set up right, and they binned it, and this poor bloke he's basically binned his car, paid a mozza, and... So there's parameters of what can physically be done, what you can do legally and that sort of stuff. But it's about, when you do this kind of project, it's about getting it done at the start, involving someone. And technically with a lot of modifications with transport, like a lot of, they actually want you to, in the old days you had to do an approval, send it to them, they go, yeah, okay, you can do that, and then we do it. But a lot of the time now, you can do different things, but you want to involve an engineer
From the start.
at the start, and then go, yeah.
So in particular, guys, there's a lot of people message me about building an old F100, like a little bit older than this, more in the 80s. This is 69, so this is pre-70s.
So this is older.
This is older, but there is certain F trucks that were built from sprung steel.
Yeah.
Now, if you have one, you want to build one, and you contact Matt about welding to that chassis and four-linking it and doing things like that.
Like that.
Well, Chevys are normal steel. But yes, sorry,
Yeah,
exactly
that sort of
like what
project.
I've done.
Yep.
So an engineer like Matt is going to say yay or nay, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why it's worth engaging them from the start if you're going down big, crazy modification.
Even
route.
like, another example is like 40s. Heaps of people used to muck around with them.
Yeah.
And older cruisers where they had like riveted chassis and stuff like that. And you can't do big mods, even decent cab swaps and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Because the transport just go.
Yeah, right.
So
there you go.
yeah, there's different things that people don't understand, but it's and it is pretty involved. But that's why, like, honestly, just ask an engineer, get on the phone.
Yep. So I guess going back to process of engineering the K truck. So engaged Matt, talked about all the plans, did all the FEA testing, all the scans, built the car.
Yep.
And what's the stages from here?
So pretty much this is where we've sort of started the design approval. Then we do we use all that data, which is unreal because most people can't have access to that or don't get it. But use all that, do a design approval. There'll be a little bit of testing on it, not massively involved. Then it's final inspection, sign off, plate, certificate.
Beautiful.
Done. So get in early.
Go do burnouts. I mean, go hit the tracks. TJ, SSM.
SSM, you want to talk about SSM? Or you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like a broken down record, but every time we go on about SSM with your cruiser or mine, people say, I talk to my engineer and they say you cannot do that because of this big list. And technically, yeah, you're right. But you've got to remember, the Australian government considers the car a new make and model.
Correct.
So no different to like if Tesla brought over a new Model 5, let's make one up.
Yep.
A brand new make and model of car, Australian government gets it, tests it, and approves it for sale in Australia, nationwide.
100%.
So that is technically superior engineering, in our case, has got a bunch of parts that are assembled in the shape of a Land Cruiser
Yep.
that they continue to build into their make and model of vehicle, which the Australian government has tested and approved nationwide as a brand new make and model of vehicle, legal on road, and technically safer than the vehicle that was originally brought in.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a massive process, and you'll see on the compliance plate, it is actually a superior engineering Toyota. It's not a Toyota 79 series anymore.
If you run our registrations, like when the police are on it, it doesn't say Toyota Land Cruiser anymore. So I hope that makes sense. Yes, technically you can bolt parts to a car and make it seem the same. But legally, it's not the same.
Yeah, the big thing with that, it's done under a federal approval, which is completely different to state, and that's the biggest difference. And it's not saying it's a different level, but they're all done under federal approval, so that's why you can run bigger tyres, bigger lift, and the process for that is an absolute nightmare. You could never do it as a one-off, or you want to do your own.
Yeah, I can confirm. So Superior actually just got the SSM done for the Hilux GR to be 4-inch and 33s. Now they've owned that car for well over a year, and also to let you know, Matt is very, very involved with these SSMs. You worked for Superior for a long time, doing a lot of that.
I was there even before we started doing them, and it was part of actually getting them done. So really, really familiar with them. Done them with a heap of other companies that Superior use, but was really involved with Superior, so I know it inside and out. But the biggest thing, people will say it's not legal, you can't do it, all the rest of it, but it's a federal approval, which is a completely different thing. And
important to sort of let people know though, like on the surface it's just lift and wheels, but the list of the modifications is like 4 pages long. Like
every component has been like FEA destruction tested.
There's just heaps of little stuff like the lane change cameras and stuff are adjusted.
Unbelievable.
All the CAN bus system for the indicators is changed for the...
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with doing those jobs. It's not like you can, like a pre-approved kit, talking about like a Queensland one.
Yeah.
It can be just inspection, lane change, brake test, sign off if you've got the data behind it. But with those ones, every single ADR in that car
It's literally
has to be tested and signed off against that. It's compliant and it's been checked.
It's literally
massive.
like if Toyota brings out the 400 series Land Cruiser in the future, it goes to the Australian government for testing.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. Like, it's not just an engineer and a blue plate.
No, the amount of testing and componentry that has to be checked off, and then ADR tests that you wouldn't normally touch on a Queensland mod plate. The scope of SSMs is gigantic to get it approved. It blows me away, the amount of work that's done in it. So
So that's two of the big ticket items that probably doesn't affect a large majority of the punters out there. So I want to kind of ask you a couple of questions about what most of the average guys are running. So let's talk cars with electronic stability control, and then we'll also talk about things like cars without that, like your Patrols and 105s and things. So many of you guys have got MP300s, Hiluxes, D-Maxes, and you all want 4-inch lift, 2-inch body lifts, 35s. So all these guys with electronic stability control, what can they and can't they do is probably the easiest way to
don't shoot the
answer
messenger, bugger all. I hate it. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. And the debate about what you can do, what you should be able to do, completely different.
Ongoing battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And but I'm just here to give advice. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yep.
I don't make the rules. I just have to follow them. And it's the same deal. People say, "Oh, can't you do this, that, and the other?" If I like what I do, and I like the income it gives me, I'm not signing off on your thing where I can't. But basically, the trouble with the ESC is the bugbear. So, and I get them every day. Old mate's got, like you said, body lift, 4-inch lift, 35s on any of those vehicles. If it's got ESC, you're restricted to a 50mm suspension lift, 50mm larger tyre, 25mm height. Basically because of ESC. You can, under Queensland legislation, go higher, but you've got to get an ESC test, and this is where it just doesn't happen.
ESC also prevents solid axle swap or axle
Pretty
conversion.
much, So, and the trouble is, to doing it, there's literally no one that I know of can find anymore. There was a couple of people around, but no one does it. It's about 18 to 20k per test. There was a couple of people up north doing it for like 12 to 15, and that's individuals. And that doesn't mean once you've done that, you can do it for all those cars. It's got to be each car. That vehicle, so it kills it. At the moment, the only way to do it is send it to Bosch in Melbourne, which doesn't happen because their wait list is forever, and I think they've canned ESC testing.
Just taller lips on an ESC.
Oh, yeah.
So so you literally, and that's the killer. Like in the legislation and the regs, you can do a bigger lift, but to do that lift, you've got to get an ESC test, and
that's cheap suspension, then, isn't it?
And, mate, and that's
and
the
it
thing,
might not pass.
No one, like I get inquiries all the time. I've even had people that would have paid the money, which is cool, but no one does it, or you're sending your car to Bosch in Victoria, and I'm pretty sure they don't take one-off.
And then good luck.
Tests, and it's pass or fail. So you can, it potentially will fail as well.
And in those cases, good luck having that argument with Highway Patrol.
100%.
They're not going to believe you.
No, and the thing is, like, even the other side of that is, even if you can get the big lift, you're not getting bigger tyres because Queensland are just a blanket. Well, it's pretty much most states, but it's 50mm. Diameter, 25mm height, and that's it. There are like different SSMs, different. There's a few different like little design approvals that have a complete package, but it's pretty much black and white, which sucks. And I know we can't get it mod plated. Even a body lift now, even on an old banger with a body lift, you've got to get a lane change and swerve test. So
true.
Yeah, even if that's the only mod you've got on there, and it's a 1-inch, 2-inch body lift, it has to be design approval, lanes change, brake test, and you see heaps of people now getting defected, especially up the beach, and they get a defect to clear it. But most of the time, you're not going to spend the money to do that, because that's the other thing. That even the lanes change, like we get charged $1,000 an hour.
Okay.
To
do that. I'm going to set up some cones and start a business. Just drive through them. $1,000 an hour.
It's mad. And that's like that. These are the Motorplex complex. And that's the thing with the lane change, you've got to have a driver, a track. And there's a whole load of restrictions around the regs about the track and the conditions, and even to to the weather and all this sort of stuff. Like when Superior tested on Thursday, when they go out there, there's like Tony Gregg's little weather wall. It's like there's a weather chart. It's got to take. We've had it to the point where they've actually rung the test facility, the guy, and said, "Oh, we checked the weather on that day that you did this test."
Oh wow!
And if it was raining or different conditions, can't do it. And they were like, "No, because here's our data from our little weather machine on the day sitting next to the track." It's wild.
In a couple of weeks, let's be positive and say this is finished. In a couple of weeks, when Macca needs to get this engineered, is he going to have to go through lane change testing on this?
It's mainly when you go over, when you change suspension, a fair bit, there's a few regs in there you do, and if you go over 2 inch, a lot of the time, you do. So, with most of that, you'll actually be right. Look, we've got a lot of the stuff and the testing done. So
beautiful. Yeah, it's actually, believe it or not, the case rate actually isn't that high. I think our biggest issue is going to be the 37s, isn't it?
Who's? No, what?
What?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
To be continued.
To be continued. We do. I guess that's a topic we could get into a bit later. Is truck rego.
Yep.
But just going back to the average punters. So we're talking patrol guys, 80 series guys, LM106 guys. You know, all your solid axle cars, all your pre-ESC vehicles.
Yeah. Yep.
What's their allowances? What can they do?
So you can go 4 inch tyres. You're still 1 inch bigger.
Okay.
So inch height.
So
2 inch. Yeah,
2 inch bigger diameter
Yeah.
gives you 1 inch of lift.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
You can go a 2 inch bigger tyre increase
Yep.
and a 4 inch.
You can go 4 inch. Yeah. To do that is.
And this is Queensland.
Yeah.
This is Queensland.
That is Queensland.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. To do that is. That's where you've got to have design approval. It's got to be lane change. It's got to be brake tested. So that's where it knocks a lot of people out, or they go, nah. And then you do, and we've seen it before where my mate can do it. He's got a blue plate guy, whatever they want to call him, approved person. But they can do it. But they're doing, and even where they've been pinged before, because, I won't throw names, but there was a guy doing lane change test on a main street down a hill a few years ago and
okay.
put it publicly, and they transport just come and went.
Lane change money.
Yeah, so you
pretty much.
It's a good point. You do need to be careful the engineer you use because they can just wipe it.
Oh mate, it sucks. Like, and there are still some rogues out there. Look, I've got a few, but I've got a young fella at Coolum, really nice bloke, 80 series. He had engine seats, whatever, which is fine, but he also had like 4 inch lift, and the guy played at that and 35s. Was never tested. He didn't. To do an LS10, the high lift, that's another subject we'll get into, but you've got to have the design approval behind it. But this kid did the right thing. It wasn't like the Instagram post where the guy would mail him the plate and stuff.
Yeah.
But every mod plate this guy did, Transport have cancelled it. They've sent letters to the people.
That's bad luck.
This kid paid $3,500. Thought he was doing the right thing, which sucks. I'm helping him out, but they sent a letter saying present your car.
Yeah.
He didn't know any different. Of course, it was registered in Dad's name, so Dad's like, "What's going on?" But he had to get all that stuff basically redone, recertified.
Yeah,
Some of it you couldn't do, but I've had
on the back foot too. So it's even harder.
That's it. And they were good. Like Transport, I said, go get an extension. Transport did that, and then he's getting the stuff done. But there's people out there that have had their regos cancelled, which is pretty rough. And a lot of these people didn't know. So TMR are getting better, because when that used to happen, they'd sort of suspend people. Now they just go, "You're done," like writing mod plates, which they should. I'm not this fascist stickler for rules and all that. I get that's my business, but it just shits me. It's the same as, there was always a phone-worthy guy, but this is a different level, because you can get into such serious grief, and you think you're doing the right thing, and you've paid someone, and that's the thing. They know what they can and can't.
So what's
do.
the best way for someone to research good or engineers that are valid?
Yeah, honestly, you can
It's
you can go on a list of Queensland Transport have a list of approved engineers.
Okay.
They've also got the approved codes that they do. You can even call vehicle standards 132380, say, can this guy do this?
Well, that's probably the best.
The other states have a...
So similar thing. Like Victoria have their VAS. New South Wales have a similar thing. So have a look online. even call transport if you need to. Like I said, yeah, plenty of people call me, ask me, just different questions.
Because I do get asked a lot.
Yeah.
I just give him Matt's number. So.
Love your work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But the same thing, don't just go because your mate's got them or he got this done or that sort of stuff. And honestly, if a couple of engineers have said no and you find a bloke that says yes, if it's a standard sort of thing, it's not going to pay off for you in the long run.
You run the risk.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So it's up to you whether you want to spend $3,000 with the dodgy bloke and potentially have it ripped off your car, or spend $3,000 with the right bloke and it's $500 or whatever you're getting engineering is obviously, I guess that's something we can talk about as costing, but it varies obviously per code and things. So that's fully up to you guys, really.
Yeah. The boring thing is, like insurance, everyone thinks, I'll just, I know I've got a dodgy one, I'll run around without it, whatever, and that's cool. They go, I'll just, drop tyres, drop the lift, get it inspected, put it back, whatever. But the issue is the boring shit with the insurance. If you get nailed, and I've had people get hit by another car, wasn't their fault, they had a mod plate on there that wasn't legit. The assessors know what they're looking at, and they've just gone, we're wiping you.
Wiped it.
And then their insurance goes, well, you're now up for 2 cars.
Oh, Jesus.
Or, worst case, you bingle somebody else or you do something. But yeah, it can get pretty ugly. It's that side of it. Everyone just thinks, it's just a defect, I just clear it or whatever. But it's that
the what if
ugly,
sort of
boring
moments.
that can put you in a hole for 10 years with a big debt.
And that all circles back to, I guess, with an ESC car is like the federally approved SSM cars. They're worth their weight in gold.
The other thing with them is, if you could, like, say with our off-road pros with Superior, you have a patrol here, it's registered, you go and sell it to a bloke in, say, Victoria or South Australia or somewhere else, they can't necessarily get that approval done.
Because it's a different
state. And the shit thing is, we all talk about how crap it is, all the different states, but you've got to go and pay somebody else in there to go and do the same thing or sign off on the same thing.
Same thing you've already done.
Yeah, but if you've got a SSM that's federally approved, you can go anywhere in Australia. It's not an issue. You can move states. You can sell it to anyone. It's definitely worth it.
It's interesting because actually the coiled N80, the very first giveaway car I ever did, was coiled here, fully engineered through Superior Engineering, 2-inch lift, 2-inch tyre increase. Everything was by the book. Went to Western Australia, was the winner, and they just went, Queensland mod plate. See you later.
Yeah, it's wild.
Start again. So luckily I had contacts with the SWAT boys over there and
awesome.
Packard Engineering. Yep. And they went through the re-engineering process, which took like 2 months.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Took a while before they went, yeah, that's perfectly fine. It's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, to redo it and go through the stress. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah.
That would have made that particular N80 quite valuable in West Australia.
He actually.
It's tough to get them done over there.
Yeah, the winner, his partner, they'd had a baby and wasn't working. They needed the coins. So they sold it. My son, anyway, calls me dad now. He bought it. Remember we met up with him at the Cape?
Yeah.
And he bought it. He loves that car. He's done heaps of stuff.
New camera angle. Battery went flat on the camera.
Quick intermission. The obvious defect targets for blokes. I guess that's more of a police question, but something I'm sure guys come to you and say, hey, I got done for this.
Yeah, yep. It's the stuff that they will just see and ping you for, and the obvious stuff that even some transport inspectors and police may not have exactly the right idea or know everything they're doing in terms to that. That's as polite as I'll say it. But the stuff that's going to get you into trouble is no mud flaps or short mud flaps. Tyre poke is a massive one because it's so obvious for them. But these are the things that I know for a fact that they are targeting, and it's easy. And that's why, we went up the beach that long weekend, October.
Yeah.
Just for the day, and there was millions up there. But that's the thing. If you run around with poke, or you've got the soot machine that's just pouring black coal, you're going to attract attention to yourself straight through exhaust. Even they're way more onto DPF deletes. It was a bit harder to identify and stuff, but it's the obvious stuff. But mud flaps, tyre poke, straight through exhaust, the stuff that they can just see driving past.
See and get you real quick and easy.
That's the stuff they will drill you for.
Yeah. So if you're in America, all of those things don't matter. So
not at all.
Just Australia. Okay, another big one for you is cab shops.
Yeah.
So this is a big big money question that gets asked a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot harder to do. Same thing with that. You need a design approval behind it. I get asked all the time after the event when a cab chop's been done.
So someone's cut
it, done it, and honestly, some of them are. I wouldn't say they're welded; they're soldered. Like some of them are bad. They've done it in the backyard. They've done it with a grinder. It's not tidy. But the process for that is actually, like we were talking about before, talk to an engineer, and technically you're supposed to apply for approval. It can be signed off afterwards, but the issue is, like for me or anyone signing off on it, you've got to see how it's done. You've got to see the internals. So normally, if the cab's been tidied up, you can't see the weld. You can't see how it's done. The other thing is it's got to have safety glass. So a lot of people, when they just get back window off a ute, sweet, but it's got to be automotive safety glass with the right markings on it. But the biggest thing is it's after the event and they've done it themselves. That is an issue. And I'm not saying don't do it yourself, but talk to an engineer before, because there's a lot of cab shops that can't get signed off. There are a few companies doing them, and they do pretty good jobs. Those ones are a bit easy because they may not have design approval paperwork, but they've got a lot of paperwork and instructions and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's easier if honestly you use one of them or you talk to an engineer before you do the job, because after the event you may not be able to get it.
You don't want
signed
that
off, and then you've got a farm truck.
Then you're putting a wagon body back on it again. And then you've got to get that mod plated because it's different chassis numbers and body numbers.
Actually, that's the other thing too. When that's just a change, but talking about cab chops. Yeah. Cab chops are a similar thing. You've got to get a sign off and a design approval, and it can be reasonably easy, but you need a surrogate VIN. So you've got to have the identifiers off the cab. The original vehicle still has to have the VIN number stamped in it, but the process of that is a pain in the ass, because you've got to go to transport, apply for a surrogate VIN, then you've got to present the car to police, who check the IDs and then sign off and say, yeah, you can or you can't. So that, cab chops and cab swaps aren't as easy as everyone thinks. But definitely talk to somebody before you get the grinder out.
Okay, that's very interesting. I've got a little terror trying to sneak in behind us over here. If you're wondering why I was distracted. Another large question that I'm interested in, and that is when you see these American trucks, your Ram 2500s, your F250s, your Silverados running around with 8-inch lift and hydros and liquid springs and airbags and 40-inch tires and explain that.
I can't.
Yeah.
That's a TMR federal government question. It's bizarre. It is ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah, because their GVM is above 4.5 ton.
Yeah, so it goes into
is MB2 truck rego.
Yeah, and it goes into almost heavy vehicle. Well, it does. Anything over 4.5 is classed as heavy vehicle, so it's a completely different ballgame. It's more truck-based stuff.
It makes sense in a way because, like, say, a Mack truck is allowed to have a 40-inch rolling diameter and a headlight height a lot higher because they're bigger and they're designed to be a truck. They are a truck, so they fall into that category.
The bigger ones do, but yeah, it is bizarre. Like some of the stuff running around isn't, but.
Yeah.
However, for these people to be allowed to drive these, it requires a different license.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
anything
so
over
that's
4.5 is the big
they're
one.
trained.
Yeah, well, they're trained drivers, so
They're trained to drive on 40.
that's important to mention. Anything on truck rego, what is that? Just the smallest license?
LR, LR is the first one, which is like in truck, which is light rigid, but it's anything over 4.5.
And does that mean that in some cases when they go past a weigh station, they can be called in?
Oh, they could anyway, but unlikely, but yes.
Unlikely, but
even...
And zero alcohol and, a few things to take into consideration.
If it's classed as truck,
If people are going down that route with their...
Yeah, and even, like those ex-army parentis I was talking about, like the six-wheel drive ones that have a sign on the windscreen that say...
Well, even Unimogs.
Same thing. Yeah. Consistent driving over 80 kilometres an hour will cause you permanent hearing loss.
That's pretty...
But, six-wheel driving those things, they were over 4.5, and heaps of people bought them at the auctions, and then went, oh shit, I can't drive. I can't drive this thing, or I'm off to get a truck license. But people do get caught out with it.
Now, in saying that, if the K truck's design approval gets knocked back for 37s,
is there a truck-based option?
Is there a truck-based option now that I've
potentially.
got the 1-ton axles, 1-ton brakes, 8 stud, everything 2500 and F250 has?
Yes. Yeah.
even even gearbox and engine is obviously and brakes, everything's all spec'd up.
Yep. Yeah, so when you go, there's two things that you can go, like that category changes a lot of things, and it can reduce some of the stuff that you've got to comply with, or it's not so light vehicle anyway. So yeah, there are sometimes options for that as well.
I guess the other beauty is that it's actually a K20, not a K10, which has larger chassis, thicker steel, and all that from factory. So the GVM is
a lot better option,
a lot higher from factory on it. So
Getting back to your build, end goal is to have this legal on road, obviously. But the whole reason that this is possible is because it's so old, I'm assuming, and it's like on an ADR2 or before even.
Yeah, a lot of older vehicles don't, because you've got to comply with the ADR of that age.
So when this was brought in, or when this was created, the rules were considerably different, and what you've done is a considerable upgrade.
Yeah, yep.
So
there's you've got to comply with the ADR at that age, it makes it easier to do for older cars a lot of the time, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
But as soon as you do like an engine upgrade, like even an older car, an engine upgrade, if you do that, it's got to have seat belts, brake upgrade.
So there's things to take into consideration.
Stuff like that. So,
But like, how old is this Smacker? This one?
this one's 1969.
Yeah, yep.
Great age. It's actually my second 69 because my C10 was also 69.
56 years ago. Very different rules.
Yeah, yep. If you kept it, if you kept it standard, there's not that you want to do that. No. If you keep it standard, there's not a lot of stuff you have to comply with, and depending on what you did change, because there's checklists for each modification of what you need. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you do change like an upgrade, even if you've got an old, say 50-year-old banger, and you put a different a different engine in it, you didn't have to comply with seatbelts or different brakes and all that sort of stuff. But once you do that engine change, then you've got to put seatbelts in it, because that's part of the engine upgrade. You've got to do brakes.
Yeah, mine has lap belts at the moment, but I am putting I have to put 3-point seatbelts in it.
Yeah.
Lucky they make them for nearly every old classic car these days.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do.
You can literally just buy them off the shelf. They're all ADR approved.
Actually, that's a question. Is there a 5-point seatbelt that's legal on road? No. Okay.
So anything, there used to be different, because I'm an old fart, way back, it was different, and you could almost have a rally car that you drive to an event sort of thing. But
roll cage, pre-06, roll cages were legal. I only know that because my first S13 had a legal roll cage in it.
Yep. So stuff like, roll cages, generally race seats, anything that's a harness, 3-point, and it's all about safety in an accident, getting out, all that sort of stuff. But like I said, I don't understand some of the rules, and I get it, but you think
isn't it
race seat with a harness would be a lot safer than an old 3-point, but like I said, there's someone in an ivory tower that's making the rules and keeping them in place. But you think roll cage, race seat, harness, you think that would be
the safer
in a vehicle, and I get it's about getting out of the vehicle or hitting your head or whatever, but so those things are basically can't have on the road. A roll cage these days has pretty much got to be professionally manufactured with certain safety tags, that sort of stuff, so you can't knock one up in your shed or...
Damn it, I better throw that one in the bin.
Get your mate to come around. So, there's a lot of things that you think are a better safety item.
Not legally, though.
Not legally, not allowed. So,
Interesting. Okay, so one other thing before I forget is, I guess, there's the history of Superior Engineering getting all of these approvals done. I know you've sat in a lot of meetings. Superior actually they're in the politics. They're sitting in political meetings.
Vehicle standards and stuff, trying to get stuff through.
So you guys have also spoken to Victoria, New South Wales roads, WA.
Every state.
Every state. Yeah. So a lot of people are like, you can only get it done in Queensland. Superior has and is always trying, and they are always in discussions from what I'm told. And they're doing their best to get this going in all the states and make all these approvals better besides the SSM. So.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I was pretty involved with it years ago when I was there, but we set up originally engineers in each state to sign off on stuff, and then we actually had meetings with most of the transport departments around the country, and it was a nightmare trying to work out the differences, who would allow what, who wouldn't, that sort of thing. But we actually had meetings with most of just about every state and every vehicle standards department. Superior actually focused on Queensland, obviously, because that's their bread and butter, and that's where they know what they could get approved.
Yeah.
And it was easy because we obviously had engineers
Local.
and that sort of stuff.
Based in Queensland.
Yeah, but
Yep.
they are always pushing the envelope, hammering.
And investing.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah.
They are spending hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of dollars getting all these approvals done, and not to mention the amount of work and R&D
it's
and
mind-blowing.
design
Yeah.
and everything that goes into even every part. Their shocks, their valving, their coils, their arms, all the Australian-made arms and things like that.
It's massive. A lot of effort. Yeah, talking to other states, trying to get them on board the same as that. But the amount of R&D that goes into this stuff just, it literally blows you away. Like, you hear people saying different things about, they're looking after themselves or they're lining their own pockets. And they are a business, but they're not doing it to the detriment of everyone. If they could have all that stuff approved, like ESC cars, all that sort of stuff, they would be onto it.
And
tomorrow.
to me, well, as far as I know, they're the only ones doing it.
Yeah.
Superior is the only one pushing back and getting things approved and making things legal for us. And that's one of my biggest reasons for supporting Superior the whole way through, even back when I had my very first full drive, the old mighty N70. So they are the ones innovating and doing their best for the community. So.
Oh, that's the thing. That's like that. It's smart because that's their customer base, and they know if they can get stuff across the line. And like obviously in the old days, everything was like, I'm talking 80s and that sort of stuff. It was all 6-inch lift. Like those days are gone. But if they can get stuff approved, it's in their interest too, which is why and there's times that they've spent an absolute mozza and it hasn't come off, or they haven't been able to get to market with it, or another model came in and that just killed it. So they are definitely trying to do whatever they can for everyone out there. But it's a fallacy to say they're not looking after the four-drive community. Like they do everything they can to make stuff legal. And
there's a lot of guys out there just putting out parts and go and deal with it.
That's it. Like even for myself, when I'm signing off on stuff or people ring me, and I won't mention brands, but there's brands that just they're not interested. They don't care. Without them releasing any data or doing any testing, it's virtually impossible to properly engineer it or sign off on stuff. So, and that's the thing with Superior. I know what it can do. I know what data they'll provide. Yep. They help engineers. Like it's never an issue. Where the other companies, I'm talking big international companies as well, they're just not interested in doing it. Here's the parts, you deal with it. So
it's very interesting. Support the local guys.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Superior. Just about wraps it up, I reckon. If there is anything you think we've missed, leave it below, and in an upcoming K-Truck episode, I might be able to ask Matt and field it for you on the channel. And if you are going to get any mod plating or stuff done, make sure you see the right guys. If you're Sunshine Coast, you go any further, Brisbane, Harvey Bay,
Coolangatta to Cairns.
Coolangatta to Cairns.
No, I literally do pretty regular trips up, right up to North Queensland. I do Goldie in Brisbane. So
there you go. So pretty much, Goldie to Cairns. Hit up Matt. He's your Queensland bloke, that's for sure. And I'm sure you could put other guys in touch with New South Wales.
Yeah, definitely. I've got through like when I was at Superior, I've got a heap of contacts Australia wide. So if you do have. If you've got inquiries from just about anywhere, there is a team of engineers that I'm in touch with and I can refer people to. So
and best way to get in touch is email? Yeah,
probably email is the best way. I've got like a website you can do an inquiry and actually select what you're trying to do. But
even better.
Like that. I've got obviously, and the thing is with this, I don't write anyone off. I might tell them, sorry mate, can't help you, but it's still really hard for average Joe to work out what's legal, what's not, what I can do. So honestly, always happy to field inquiries.
It's nearly done. What? How far off are we now, mate?
We're done in a weekend. Thanks again for all your wisdom and insight, Matt.
My pleasure, mate.
Pleasure as always, mate. So, 2 days in here too.
Love your work, boys. Really appreciate the support. But happy to help out any time, mate.
Appreciate the info. I'm sure all the viewers will as well, because it's a very, very spicy topic.
True.
Spicy. I don't know. I can't quite think of the word, but
that
answers a lot of questions, doesn't it?
However, in other news,
we've got the King Chrome Build Wars kicking off in November.
So I'm hard at work editing that entire series right now, which unfortunately means I'm going to miss Adelaide show.
TJ can't make this one, but I'm going to fill in. I'm bringing the big dad bus. You might not recognise me. I've got the Mo. TJ's is gone now, but we have been doing Movember for the King Chrome Build Wars. So you guys are welcome to donate to TJ and my Movember if you guys would like. There's a link here.
But I will be at Perth 4x4 show.
There you go. T-Day's coming to Perth. I'll be there as well.
And a dad bus is going to make it all the way across the country.
Well, hopefully. I'm doing a bit of Macca's remote touring on the way. So.
Yeah, so there's pretty fun episodes coming from that, I can envisage.
I'm a little scared because we don't have the mighty 300 bus to save me on this one, so fingers crossed.
This must be your first solo remote trip.
It is. I'm just taking the boys, one car.
I could go right.
I also got some family stuff coming up after Perth show, so less than a week to go, guys. If you want to win the GR Hilux, it is shedlifeclub.com. We've got over 70 partners now, so if you're building a car or interested in some full drive stuff, you're making money.
We math, guys.
Not to mention, if you're a pro or elite member, this is your sign-up tee.
Not bad, mate.
I love this one.
Yeah,
Engine lights on, vibe stay strong. I'm all about that. Because we generally break cars a lot, but we keep the vibes up.
We do.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for the support. See you on the next one.